Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a much awaited collection update for my horror movie collection. This has been something that I've been meaning to do for a while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So we are going to be going over all horror DVDs today, all new ones that I'm adding to my collection that I've gotten in the past couple of months. And a lot of them I'm very, very excited to be able to say are in my collection now. So I think it's about 60 DVDs total today, which is a lot. So I'm going to try to kind of go through them pretty quickly and just give you kind of an overview of everything that I've gotten recently. And I also just wanted to point out this new shelf behind me. I finally have something to display my horror DVDs. It's been forever that I've just had all of my DVDs laying around this room. They've just been littered around because I didn't have anything to put them on. So now I finally have this really cool glass shelf, and I just really love the way it looks. Added some little twinkly lights on top. I'll probably go ahead and insert a close-up of it to give you an idea of what the whole thing looks like. And what's really cool about it is that it can be added onto or taken away. So I can add more of these little squares. It's just these sheets of glass that are all these pieces are separate, and you can kind of assemble it. So there are these little joints that they all come separately, and you can add as many panels as you'd like to create whatever size shelf you would like, which is really cool. And I have some more glass panels that are not put together, so I can kind of keep expanding this shelf, or I can make an entirely separate shelf and just have more space to put my movies, which I'm super excited about. So just wanted to show you guys that. And I've got my little coffin message board back there that says, "What's your favorite scary movie?" and my one and only Laserdisc on top. So I just thought I'd show you my new setup too while I'm at it. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into my collection update. And we're going to be starting with movies that I've gotten at either a Goodwill or a thrift store. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. This is the Twin Peaks movie from, oh gosh, probably the 90s. I'm not exactly sure. But I've seen the series. I have never seen this film. So I'm very excited to be able to watch this now on DVD. I think it's streaming, but it's cool to watch things on DVD. As you know, you're here. We love physical media here, so seeing like the DVD menus and stuff like that, I'm always interested in. So that is number 1, Fire Walk with Me. Next up, we've got The Invisible Man, the one from 2020 with Elizabeth Moss, and I really, really love this movie. As you can see, if you can see the little tag on here, I got this for $3, brand new. Love that. That's a great, great movie. Really good one from the past couple of years. So these next two I actually didn't get from a thrift store, so we're diverting from that for a second. But I got these online, and they're two that I've really wanted to own for a while. And they're both vampire movies from the 70s, which I love. And I did talk about them in my Hazy Dreamlike Fairy Tale horror video. So if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and watch that to hear a little bit more in-depth description of these films. But the first of which is Jean Rollins' Fascination. This is a really good one. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Love Jean Rollins so much. And then the next one is Lamora, A Child's Tale of the Supernatural. And this one is a Synapse film, which is very cool. I love the kind of purple cover. Really good if you haven't seen either of them. If you like vampire movies, definitely check them out. Okay, next, these are all from the Peddlers Mall. If you've watched my thrifting videos, you will know all about the Peddlers Mall. It's basically just like a giant thrift store where people can rent out booths and sell whatever they want. So I always go there hunting for movies. And I found a lot at this Peddlers Mall, which I was very excited about. So the first one is staple, a classic, Sixth Sense. I have this one on VHS, and I was like, I should probably get it on DVD too, just to have it, because I know this is one I will want to rewatch time and again, so had to snag it. Most of these were $2 and under, I think. There might be a couple that were a little bit more than that, but overall, pretty much just about $1 to $2. So next is I Know Who Killed Me, the Lindsay Lohan vehicle, I guess like thriller. I have not seen these yet, but I've heard that it's kind of a fun time, kind of a romp. Sorry, I think the lighting keeps changing. I'm trying to fix it. It's a struggle, but hopefully it's not too distracting. So, yeah, I'm excited to watch this one finally. And then we've got Blade, which I guess is more of, you know, like a superhero movie, but vampires, so still pretty horror, lots of horror elements to it. I haven't seen this one yet either, so it's one that I'm excited to watch. There are quite a few that I got that I've never seen before. I have seen this one though, the original Omen. I do have the remake already on DVD. That one is basically just a rehashing of this one. So this one's definitely better, and I do prefer it to the remake. So glad to have that one too. And next up we've got Hard Candy. Another one I guess you could maybe consider a thriller. I don't know. I would consider it pretty horrific, personally. But really, really love Elliot Page, and Patrick Wilson is always good too. So this is a really good one. If you haven't seen it, I'll be recommending that for a lot of these. If you haven't seen, go ahead and watch them if you can get a hold of them. But next up we have the American Pulse, not the Japanese one. I guess Kristen Bell's in this. Again, this is one I haven't seen, and I think I've heard it's not very good, at least compared to the original. I'll still give it a watch though. Yet another one that I've got on VHS already, but wanted to have on DVD. We've got the Blair Witch Project. Of course, a classic. I don't really need to say anything else about this movie. Yeah, it's one of the found footage classics of horror. Gotta love it. Next is one that I have on Blu-ray. So I'm repeating a lot, but I just really like how the DVDs look. I like the DVD aesthetic a lot. I really prefer it to Blu-rays. VHS is probably my favorite, but I think the DVD looks a lot better than Blu-ray. I just really hate the blue plastic on the Blu-rays. I don't know. So this is one I'm going to own probably in every type of physical media if I can, because it's, again, a classic. Coming up next, we've got Annabelle, and again, I haven't seen this one. A lot of the Conjuring universe has just kind of, I don't know, I've just missed out on it. I don't know why. I'm not really drawn to it. I think that's what it is. So I've seen Conjuring 1, 2, and 3, but pretty much everything else in that universe I haven't really seen, so I will watch it eventually. Next, we've got Halloween 2. A sequel that's inferior in pretty much every way to the original for me. It's okay. You know, it is what it is. Kind of a bummer that Laurie's in the hospital the whole time, but you know. Halloween 2, I want to have the whole franchise on DVD eventually, and I'm keeping on the lookout. It's been kind of hard to find that, and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street on DVD, so I don't know what's up with that. I mean, they're, you know, the 3 most popular franchises, but they're still hard to find on DVD. I don't know. Next up is Misery. Absolutely love this one. One of my favorite performances ever, with Kathy Bates as Annie. And obviously James Caan is amazing as Paul Sheldon. So, I mean, this is one that I go back to over and over again because it's so good. And those effects hold up really well. There's not a ton of them, but they hold up very well. So had to snag that one. Next we have Vacancy. This is the early 2000s motel horror with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. You know, it is what it is. It's not great. I remember watching this in high school, I think, at a friend's house for the first time on DVD, so it has a little bit of nostalgia for me. Again, yeah, it's not mind-blowing, but it's an alright time. Next, we've got another Stone Cold classic, Predator. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the original. This is one that I, you know, I thought it was okay the first time I saw it. I saw it for the first time semi-recently, like within the past couple of years, and I just remember being like, oh, I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't really get the hype as much, but, I mean, I can see why people like it for sure. But yeah, Predator. Speaking of Predator, next one is Alien vs. Predator. I don't know if any of you remember from my video about like how I became a horror fan. I think I talked about this movie because it was like the first PG-13 movie I ever saw in theaters. So for that reason, I'm drawn to it. I probably haven't seen it since then, so it's been a very, very long time. I think I've heard that it's not great, but I am definitely willing to give it a rewatch and see how I feel about it, although I am kind of behind on both the Predator and Alien franchises, so I'm sure that probably doesn't really matter for watching that one. Next, we got The Lost Boys. This is one I'm very, very excited to finally have. Would really love to get it on VHS. Hopefully, I will get it on VHS soon, but for now, DVD is great. What's not to love about 80s vampires in cool costumes, red motorcycles? Love it. And I also got the sequel. This is Lost Boys: The Thirst. I don't really know anything about this. It looks like it's got Corey Feldman in it, and he might be the only returning character. I don't really know anything about it. If you've seen this and you like it, let me know. I don't really hear people talk about it, so I'm assuming it's probably not very good, but I guess I'll just have to see what I think about it. Speaking of not very good, this one is also probably not very good. 9 Lives. This is one that I always have seen the cover of, but I don't really know, like, what it's about, other than the fact that Paris Hilton is in it. That is the only thing I know about it, so I'm willing to watch anything once. So I will be checking it out eventually. Next, we've got one that's kind of a travesty that I haven't seen yet, and that's Black Swan. I know, where have I been? I don't really know. I've had so many opportunities to watch this movie, but for some reason, I just haven't yet. I think I would really like it. Again, one that I'm really glad to finally have. With these next two, I'm completing my Final Destination franchise. I have 1, 2, and 3 already. And now I'm adding The Final Destination and Final Destination 5. This is really cool because this DVD actually did come with 3D glasses. 2 sets, actually, of glasses. And I don't really know if this works on a regular TV. I'm assuming it does. I don't know. Does it have to be 3D? Oh my gosh, this looks wild. I haven't worn blue and red 3D glasses in so long. So, yeah, just really fun, and I'm kind of glad that it came with them, because for something like this you're finding at a thrift store, you would assume these would have been long gone, but they still had them in there, so very cool. And those are 2 that I still need to watch. Next up are 2 that I don't really know much about for either of them. We've got Bats and Lights Out. I think Lights Out was that based on a short film, and then they made it into a feature. I want to say that happened, but I could be wrong. And then Bats, I kind of like because the logo is upside down. It's kind of hard to tell, but so when it's on the shelf next to things, it's going to be opposite of what the other titles are, if that makes sense. So it's flipped upside down like a bat would be. Sorry, that was a very convoluted explanation for that, but just something I noticed. And next I've got Midsommar, which another one that I do already own on another format. I have this on Blu-ray, but again, like I said, I just like that DVD aesthetic. I don't know what it is. I really like the kind of teal blue with the yellow on this cover. I think that looks really cool. So another one that I'm not mad to own 2 copies of, basically. Again, you guys, I'm really sorry if the lighting keeps changing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with my camera. But this next one was the Holy Grail find of my Peddlers Mall trip. It's one I've been looking for a long time. And I kind of couldn't believe that I saw it there. And that is Near Dark. Look at this amazing holographic cover, you guys. So, I guess it's kind of hard to find this one. It's not really, I don't know if it was like a limited run or what went on with it, but from what I've heard, it's semi-sought after, and as you'll see, I'm kind of messing with the sides. Whoever was selling this at the Peddlers Mall made me very mad, because what they did was they taped up all the edges so that you couldn't take out the discs, I guess. That was the thought process behind it. And that resulted in there being all of this tape on the sides that I'd try to take off, and in doing so, the cover would rip off as I was taking it off. So I just kind of tried to reapply the tape so it didn't have all of these white strips like you can kind of see it on the side. So there was a sticker there. I had like the booth number on it that I tried to take off, and it almost ripped off the NE in the title, which I was going to be very upset about, but that managed to stay on. So that I was pretty bummed about, but you know what, still got to find it for under $3, and the slipcase is just so cool. And when you take it out, you can unfold it like this. There's a little booklet, and there are 2 discs, so, ooh, it's going the wrong way. Yeah, I was just really, really excited to find this one. I was definitely not expecting that. And it's honestly not my favorite vampire movie, but it's just really cool. It's cool that it's directed by a woman. And then obviously the character of Severin is really amazing, really memorable. I love Bill Paxton as Severin. So yeah, I was just really, really stoked to find this. And I'm just such a sucker for holographic covers. I think they look so cool. So really, really, really amazing finding that at the Peddlers Mall. So my battery is running out on my camera. I was really hoping I could get through most of this haul, but it looks like I'm probably gonna have to do a part 2 for the stuff that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace. So I think it's just about 50-50. So that was about half of the 60 movies, so probably about 30 that I just went through, and I'll have 30 more from my Facebook Marketplace haul. So I'll try to upload that one as soon as I can after this one, so y'all don't have to wait too long for it. I just really love going through all of my movie updates and just kind of going over all the movies that I've gotten recently and taking stock of my collection and you know, seeing what you guys think about it, seeing which movies you really like. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if there are any of these movies that you really like. If there are some that I've talked about that I haven't seen yet, you have opinions on, I'd really love to know, especially the ones that I have a feeling are pretty bad. Please definitely let me know in the comments. And yeah, keep a lookout for the part 2 of this collection update that I will be uploading hopefully very soon. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk more next time.